Yo, welcome to the Big Al podcast. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Today's edition, I want to get into my wrestling notes, WWE, and some of the things that's going on in TNA as far as a free agent that's going to be leaving the TNA, going to the WWE, and also my opinion on the AEW woes. Let's get into it. Now, I want to go over the recap of the WWE Survivor Series. All in all, pay-per-view, I give it a B, B plus. It was a great pay-per-view. Storylines leading up to it was pretty good, but I think they could have did more of a traditional Survivor Series per se, but they added in the War Games. I love the War Games. So before I touch on the Survivor Series, just a little background on the War Games. I love the War Games. It's like when you had the War Games was to settle the score, to end or whatever. And back then, that's when you had Mid Atlantic slash WCW that was running the War Games or came up. It was one of Dusty Rhodes' creation, so we just say Mid Atlantic. Instead of saying WCW because that's more like Ted Turner brought product. So back when the Crockett's had it, when it was Mid Atlantic, you had War Games, which it was part of the Great American Bash, and they had the Great American Bash tour when they had the War Games, where it was normally the Horsemen versus the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes and uh, Steve Williams, Dr. Death Steve Williams. So it derived to that, and it was great. It had a lot of blood. So in today's world in wrestling, we barely see that now. It's not a lot of that. It's a lot of high spots, uh, storytelling, not through wrestling, but through scripted, like a play, so to speak, or like a soap opera type of thing. So this is where when your storylines play out. And I remember one of my favorite war games back during the Crockett slash WCW times was when they had wasn't trying to think of it when they had Sting, Steiners, and I'm trying to think of the other guy, Brian Pillman, when they faced the Four Horsemen. It was a spot in there with Sid Vicious did like the powerbomb on Brian. He hit his head on the cage, but it was kind of a dangerous spot, which Ric Flair brought that up in his book To Be the Man. But that was one of my favorite war games per se. It was good war games. I like that pay per view. One of my favorite war games. But under the Triple H helm, he brought it back for the Survivor Series slash war games. But I think they should. Well, when you have the war games Survivor Series, you should keep the traditional. You know how they had the 5-on-5, then you had the war games. It give it that Survivor Series feel. And you have one of your singles match that was like big, like your world title match. And you get back to the tradition of the Survivor Series with the war games. Uh, but going to the Survivor Series war games review, we'll start off with I'm gonna start with the LA Knight and Nakamura matchup. To me, I don't like they had the two rings there, so it kind of took a little bit of element off of it. Nakamura did pretty good, blown a couple spots in the match. I was surprised that LA Knight lost, but I see where they're going. I think LA Knight is losing a little bit of steam right now, far as his push. But you had to put the U.S. title on him. but you taking it off on him, it didn't hurt because you still resonate with the fans. It just kind of the old cliche that he's doing. Sometimes you gotta change. You have to change up your gimmick a little bit. And I like how they switched the title on Nakamura. He come back. Nakamura uh invented himself a little bit. And with this, you could develop a feud with these two guys. You could build something going forward. I see a good storyline. And then two, you're not wasting Nakamura's talent. Shinsei is a good wrestler. To me, he's one of the guys that's left that story tells in the ring. He's methodical. He's not too fast. He lets the drama build up per se. He's got a touch of that old school flavor in him instead of doing a lot of high spots and want to jump off and do this crazy shit that they doing now. It's like, let's tell the story in the ring. I want to show the people why uh I'm doing this to you with every move that he does. So, good win for Nakamura. I see where it's going. I can see a nice lengthy feud with LA Knight. Both kind of get LA Knight, chaser of the belt again and kind of get his popularity. Boom, let's boost it back up. Then you got Nakamura to heel. Now he's fighting for something. LA Knight is. And, Nakamura being, the bastard heel that he is, it's gonna give the rub off the LA Knight. So if he does get a second title reign, it'll mean so much more. But that was a good match. I give it like 2.5 stars just because of the two rings. So, other than that, it was good storytelling by Nakamura. All right, then we had the Intercontinental Championship matchup: Ron Breakker versus Sheamus versus Ludwig. This was a hard hit match, like I knew it was. Sheamus is hard hitting. Sheamus is the veteran of the matchup, and it was good that they put Sheamus in the match because you're giving Braun Breaker the rub. We know Braun Breaker is the next big thing, and along with Sokoa, but I'm gonna get to Sokoa as soon as I get that part to the War Games match itself. But Braun Breaker showing why he's got that Steiner gene in him, and everything he did in that match, he did right. I just can't do enough to praise Braun Breaker, and he uh, held on to the Intercontinental title by winning the match. I like the sequences of matches. I get that match an A. Ludwig himself, I see him somewhere in the world title picture. I see him being involved in that thing with Gunther and Damian Priest along with Finn Balor. I see it happen. But I like with Ludwig, saying he's got the physique, he's got the star power, man. But I see him in the world title picture somewhere, not winning, but in that title picture, interfering. But Ron Breaker with the devastating spear, and Sheamus being a veteran that he is, and a multiple world champion. I like the way he put Braun Breaker over, made him look like $1 million, and made him. It's like the opposite. See, this guy is a future world champion. He is a future world champion somewhere down the line. Him, Jacob Fatu, the lone werewolf. Those guys right there are future world champions. You got 3 or 4 of them that's in the mix. You gotta, man, you gotta put the titles on them right now while they red hot. Braun Breaker is definitely red hot. So Braun Breaker with the win. I give that match I gotta give it a A. It did pretty good. It was, to me, it was like a 4.5 star matchup. They did pretty good, especially with those three-way matches. Yeah, I always say talented ones can pull three-way matches off, especially with the sequence. Like I said, not a lot of high spots, but just good storytelling in the matchup, which I like about the WWE. and not the AEW. AEW is like a bunch of high spots. Wrestling's about storytelling, and uh, with the Braun Breaker match, it was good storytelling. So I give it an A. All right, we got for the world champion Gunther versus Priest, Damian Priest. I actually thought Damian Priest was going to recapture the title, but lose the title like somewhere at the Royal Rumble. But I have a good feeling that he may go to the Royal Rumble and win the Royal Rumble and challenge Gunther again and probably beat him at this upcoming WrestleMania. But as you see, if you watch the event, the premium event, Finn Balor cost Damian Priest the champion, even though Gunther clocked the shit out of Finn Balor, and it was hard hitting match. It was a good match. It was a good match for the style that they wrestled. But Gunther got the win. He was kind of a little bit upset. But you see those two guys right there put on a hell of a they put on a hell of a match. Not too many off the ropes type stuff, but just hard hitting, smash mouth, good wrestling match. And Gunther, man, I can't say enough about Gunther. Gunther is like a modern day to me Bret Hart. He don't do a lot of flashy stuff, but when he does, it makes sense. It's more hard hitting, pounding. He does stuff in the ring that makes sense. You know, he's like one of those shitty heels that you don't like, but you gotta respect him because he pulls it off so well. And him with this win right here is going to either set up a three-way that's going to include Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Gunther. So we'll just see how that go. But Gunther with the match, I get that. I get that one. I give it an A minus. It was a good matchup. Uh, War Games, Team Reigns versus the New Bloodline. Few things to unpack here with this matchup. Actually, I don't know if people don't know, but when CM Punk came out, he went off script and mugged Bronson Reed, which was good. It you want to see stuff like that, because it's like whoa. Like, okay, we're gonna get a aggressive match here. We're gonna get a physical match between these two teams, which the New Bloodline came out united, and Roman's team came out individual. I guess to show like there is no boss. Everybody's their own collective boss per se. And with the word games, it started off good, but I like the tension between Roman and CM Punk. When the next man was to come up and CM Punk was going to leave, he said, "No, you wait here. Somebody else go." And I like that because it was showing like, look here, I don't fully trust you. I don't like you. And it was a vice versa thing. So it was like a build up of tension. Like, is these guys gonna get into it? Are they gonna go at it? It left you on the edge of your seat. But in the match itself, it was a physical match with Bronson Reed messing his ankles up off the spot here, coming off the top rope to do the splash on Roman. And, CM Punk was the hero and moved him off the table, causing them to land on the table, but it's the way he jumped off. The good thing he just messed his ankle up. But most impressively, Jacob Fatu, the lone werewolf assassin. This guy is another guy. Like, you got, it was going to be Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker, Ludwig, Gunther, and Priest. Those are guys that's going to be trading the world champion for years to come, either on SmackDown or Raw. You know, I see it happening that way. Like those guys got so much talent. It's like, and I really want to see Braun and Jacob Fatu. Man, that's gonna do numbers. It's gonna be off the roof. We WWE, you need to give us this. Give us this match. Work your way to giving us this. I want to see it as a wrestling fan. I want you to, I want you guys to make this happen. If the build up slow, if it takes a year or two, build it up, build it up. But Jacob Fatu was impressive in this matchup. He did a lot of things right. He was dominant when he needed to be, but he knew how to sell when he got double teamed by the Uso brothers. So, but he really impressed me. He really did. Then the Jimmy and Sami Zayn handshake. Oh my goodness! In the middle of the ring, that was crazy, crazy work. But man, that was some of the highlights of the match. And Sora Sokola, man, two thumbs up. Towards the end of the match, when they all surrounded him, it's like, I'm not going out like a punk. And to me, that really rose his stock up with me. I'm like, this guy right here is another guy. I named the other ones, but we forgot about Sora Sokola. That's another one. Like, you see so many layers of him now. When he was with the original bloodline, he was quiet and enforced, but now he's more talkable. It's like, man, they should have had him talking from the get go when he was with Roman. But they saved it and they did the right thing. But basically, Source of Color took all their moves and he took the L, but it didn't hurt him all at all because it's like we know where they're going with Sokoa. It's like it didn't hurt him at all. If anything, it made him more stronger. It took all of them to take him out like that instead of Roman doing the deed. They all did the deed on him. So that match was definitely A. And I like those war games. Like I said, they could have had a little blood in there, but yeah, they didn't have to. Bronson Reed broke his ankle. The other guy from the new bloodline, he got hurt a little bit, but I think Tonga. But other than that, the match was an A, and Source of Cola really he shined in that matchup, so that was pretty good there. The women's war game, I had to give it a I give it a D. It could have been way better than what it was. The chair shots was cheesy, like for Christ's sake. If you're gonna wheel the chair, at least make it look good. It just was not good at all. Especially with Nia Jax. Like, look, man, you fucking close to 300 something pounds. Could have did a better job of wheeling that chair. And I'm pretty sure you're taught how to swing a chair and not hurt anybody. Well, not giving nobody the concussion. I've seen so many things that could have been better in that match, but shout outs to the winners of that matchup. But it could have been so much better. But with Bailey being out of the, not Bailey, but, Jay being out and Bailey taking the place, Bailey did a pretty good job. But Liv Morgan finally got what she got coming to him by Rhea Ripley with the riptide, and there was a celebration in the ring, and Sky jumped on uh, Rhea Ripley. It was a little funny to me because I'm like, oh my god, she just flopped on like that, like oh, like yeah. So you know, all in all, it was just like a little recap of the war games. It was pretty good. I give the whole pay per view a C because they should have had both belts defended, but We know Cody Rhodes should have been on that pay per view. You gotta put him on there to defend that title, per se. And then we got the New Day heel turn. I was so impressed with the New Day's heel turn with Kofi and Xavier Woods, how they did the Big E. It was like, man, but I think Big E's gonna return back. I think they're setting up return for Big E. But they swerved everybody. 'Cause I could have sworn that Xavier Woods was gonna turn against Kofi. I thought it was gonna be an all out war. But they got everybody. They even got me too, because I could pretty much judge how this whole thing is gonna go as far as being a wrestling fan. But they got me too. And they're getting back to the element of surprise, because you don't want to know the whole thing, because it's like, well, why buy a ticket if you know what's going to happen? It's just a waste of money. But I was shocked. And Big E, broke his neck but didn't have to have surgery, and I just like, but Kofi was like, Stone Cold broke his neck and he came back. Kurt Angle broke his neck and he came back. Edge broke his neck and he came back. And you broke your neck. And he said nobody was waiting for them. But when you broke your neck, you didn't even have to have surgery. And we were waiting for you. I just like those tidbits. And it just showed me that with the Triple H, they're getting back to good storytelling. Because like we at an age now in wrestling where it's not storytelling the ring, it's all high spots, but they're getting it right. And plus, the New Day need a fresh start. You can only be the fan favorite for so long until the crowd boo you. Just look what they did to Hogan. Hogan was for a greater part of 84 to 93. That's a 9-year run. But we go to a new era where they was like, fuck Hogan. We tired of cheering for Hogan. We was going into the new age of reality TV, and we was living in the times of there was a change of guard. So I think for this New Day change, we're gonna see a really aggressive team, and they probably win the belts back, but they needed to do that to them. And then CM Punk, Seth. You had to watch Monday Night Raw to see it last week, which the fight was like two girls fighting. I saw it for myself. I said, "Oh shit, this could have been better. Come on." But it's just showing the animosity. It's like the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels thing when they had their issue kicking off. And you better well believe coming Royal Rumble, we're going to see these two either going at it at the Royal Rumble or a match at the Royal Rumble. And CM Punk was like, "Hey, Seth, I ain't been worried about you ever since you lost the title. You not being on my radar." And that is good. That's diabolical right there. That's good. Uh, that's good mic work, microphone skill work. It is really calling out Seth Rollins because you're not the champion. I'm not thinking about you, but you're thinking about me. And this could be a potential Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels self without the backstage theatrics and the insults these two guys was going at each other, or going into a shoot. Even though those guys don't, they still harbor old feelings from CM Punk. They respect the man is doing everything in his power to be a good citizen, and especially when him and with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Yeah, then with the CM Punk and Seth Rollins situation. Oh man, we're looking at the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels confrontation again. Except it's not none of that backstage bullshit that happened before. And uh with CM Punk, the man, you know, he's back. He makes a lot of amends, but it tells you about his character that even though some of the guys might not like him, they could do a program with him. And with Seth Rollins, I see it down the road. I see a match at the Royal Rumble with these two guys, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a how Jim Ross said, slobber knocker. I can't wait to see it, especially with Seth Rollins, probably one of the best in-ring talents going today. It's really going to bring CM Punk to that level. You know, CM Punk's a little older now, but man, I cannot wait to see this one's going to be a hell of a brawn burner. I cannot wait to see it. And with with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, for those guys, I know CM Punk is back to, like, man, it's like the art of storytelling. It's like what he made a bracelet, just a simple bracelet with him and Drew McIntyre had their feud. He made that bracelet look like it was like everything, and we was all invested into, especially the feud they had, the shots they had. But it was just like, man, this is what I'm talking about. And speaking of Drew McIntyre is back in the WWE attacking Sami Zayn. So I see a little program going over there. It's like Drew McIntyre is so good. It's like he doesn't need a world champion. It's like Drew McIntyre is just like he's gonna be like the Undertaker. Like he doesn't need a title. Like it's Drew McIntyre. And just like this past almost into last year going to this year, he's been on fire. Like, man, like the work he's done, it just unploppable. It's like you just have to give this man all the credit in the world. Coming from a long way that Drew McIntyre came from, all the way to winning the belt, uh, during the COVID, because Paul Heyman loved the guy, and to like not having the belt for almost 2 years to now winning and losing it, same night. It's like the people are so invested in him, and I'm glad Drew McIntyre came back, and I can't wait to see how this thing plays out with him and Sami Zayn. It was, oh my God, it caught me off guard. And then Eric Bischoff back in the WWE NXT. Good to see Eric Bischoff on back in wrestling. I like Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff is one of the smartest guys in wrestling. Not far. He's the only guy to really beat Vince. No other wrestling company has even came close to even won a ratings thing. It's like they're not even at that time when Vince was running the WWE after the Monday Night Wars. Nobody even came close on the radar. It's like Eric Bischoff. He got older. He got the wrestling, even though they had established name and they were older, but it was like he got the WWF at the time eyeballs to come to his product. So it was good to see him on NXT, uh, firing somebody, storyline wise. It's good to see him on there. And I want to get him my boy Solo Sikoa. Oh man, goodness. My future is, and this is my thinking, I think that he's going to win the title real soon. I think he's going to beat Cody Rhodes. I think he's going to be the guy to beat Cody Rhodes at this upcoming WrestleMania coming up. I see the potential in it, or they're going to have a match. Source Cola has everything, all the pedigrees to be a solo artist, basically, and win that WWF Universal Champion from Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes he's having a good run. I don't think not a spectacular run, not as bad as a Shawn Michaels run or Bret Hart's run, but he's having a hell of a run. He's having a, not hell, but he's having an okay run right now because, everybody's so invested in the, bloodline story, but we got to look at the Kevin Owens turning heel, which that was a bold move. I seen it, progressing and him being a heel. He's proven like what he's doing is not wrong. And with, uh, him, backlashing at Cody for teaming with Roman and him and Randy Orton in the program together. So I wouldn't be surprised if or turn on Cody and say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna give him the RKO too. I don't give a damn. Let me just do what I do and do what I do and do what I do." So who no care? But that's gonna be a something to see, down in the near future. I want to get to the AEW struggle. I kind of I watched the episode, a little bit of an episode Wednesday. AEW, they they'll probably be second rate, not because I'm a WWE fan, but I'm a casual wrestling fan. I have to be real big into it. But then when you know the ins and outs, you see like me critiquing the AEW, too many high spots, not enough storytelling. It's like too many. You got too many Kenny Omegas per se. Then you got that Orange Cassidy guy. Lack of talent, put it best. Only good thing you got the Hurt Business, which they ought to really showcase some more. The Hurt Business could save AEW because people wanted to see them get back together. So now you got to take your eyes off the WWE product and you have to look at the AEW if you want to see the Hurt Business. And they they ought to premiere and put them at the front burner, and put more emphasis on the Strickland feud with the Hurt Business. It's good to see Bobby Lashley join AEW, which I know he was from the get go. His contract was up. Why not? It made sense. He claimed he wasn't a Triple H guy. He was a Vince McMahon guy. And Vince McMahon liked bigger guys. He liked the strong guys. He seen them as main event, and some of them didn't have lick of talent. Anyway, back to the AEW. Then you got John Moxley as the world champion. You ought to put the belt on the younger guys. I don't see John Moxley as a good draw. I see John Moxley just as John Moxley, one of those guys that a good hand, just not a world champion per se. And then you have to AEW, another thing, as a fan, you have to get rid of the Continental Classic. Like, why do we have that for? Like, what's the purpose of having the Continental Classic? I don't understand it. Like, you have a tournament. It's like you're going back to the old style. Then, two, why would you have, uh, a foreigner champ that don't speak English? Now back to Nakamura, but Nakamura is over in the WWE. He's over people, and what he lack of when they use subtitles in Japanese, when you talk in Japanese, is intrigued because he could talk English, but he's showing like his character like you don't deserve for me to speak to you in English. I'm gonna speak to you in this way. So I just uh, then I think with Jack Perry, you got too many small guys, Jack Perry and Danny Garcia. You have to uh appeal to the masses. You already lost CM Punk. Daniel Bryan is not a full time wrestler no more. He didn't retire. So We have nobody to draw. Chris Jericho, he's helping younger talent trying to get over. I mean, there's a lot of things that AEW could fix, and they could fix it. Take the belt off John Moxley. Don't put it on Kenny Omega if he ever comes back. Put on somebody like Christian Cage. Christian Cage right now is hot on fire, and I wanna invest myself in the Christian Cage and Hook saga. That really has potential to go places. I see it doing things on that note. To be honest, I see that feud going somewhere. I like that feud, so let's uh put more emphasis in that. And then before I go out, one more note: Jordan Grace is headed to the WWE, former TNA's Knockouts champion. Of course, she's been jobbing, putting some performers over at TNA, which you're supposed to do. You give them a rub, and she's gonna be a big star over in the WWE right away, right away. I don't think I like Jade Cargill far as her body shape, but I don't think she's gonna cut it in the WWE. I just she unless she be the female Ultimate Warrior, but other than that, I don't see her cutting. But Jordan Grace, she's got all the tools. She's been working her ass off probably in the indies and going to TNA. So she really developed something. So I can't wait till she come there. Hopefully she feud with Charlotte Flair. I would love to see that feud dropped off. And let me go back to TNA. And another world problem is Mercedes Moné. She is not the best speaker. She can't speak. Take the microphone out of her fucking hand. This is why Vince McMahon fed her with a short leash. She's okay, but she's just not what she thinks she is. Like I see she's trying to play the heel, but she's got to be a little bit smart. She's got to know when she's talking to fill the crowd. Doing promos, you have to fill the crowd so we can get invested to it. If not, then we just gonna look at it like, oh, shut the fuck up and get the fuck out of here and get somebody else up here because the shit is whack. And that's what it is. It's whack. She need to get a writer to write her scripts for her because she's got a funky attitude. So she got a funky attitude. If you can come with good promos, it goes to handle like peanut butter and jelly. But you gotta do better. You know, hopefully she get through that, and hopefully Timeless Tony Storm will come back too. Then I hope if she keep that gimmick, then I'll keep watching again because she had the best gimmick like in AEW period going at the time. That's my time. Thanks for tuning in. Big Al Podcast. Like, share, subscribe.